What are the pros and cons of living in Guelph, Ontario? That's one of the most common questions that I get asked by people that are thinking of moving into the area. So today, we're gonna look at both the good and the bad. And you're gonna wanna stick around until the end because some of the bad might actually cost you money. If we haven't met yet, my name is Mike Santos. I'm a local realtor here in the GTA, and on this channel, I share real estate information that no one else is sharing with you. All right, let's dig into it. Guelph is located just outside the Greater Toronto area, about a 45-minute drive to Mississauga, and about an hour and a half from downtown Toronto, all depending on traffic, of course. You're much closer to major hubs like Kitchener-Waterloo, which is about 25 to 30 minutes away, and Hamilton, which is about 45 minutes away. One of the main reasons why people move to Guelph is for the schools. Both the public and Catholic schools have scores above the provincial average at both the elementary and secondary school level. And for the latest rankings, you can actually check them all out on my website in the video description below. And of course, you have the University of Guelph. This is one of Canada's top universities. It specializes in things like vet, agri, and environmental sciences, but there are tons of programs here. You don't need to just be in one of those. So a lot of people will make the move. They have kids in high school and they're thinking about sending them to the university, or they're sending their son or daughter there to attend university. So if you're specifically interested in student housing as well, then go ahead and contact me with the links in the video description below. And another big reason that people choose Guelph is because of the affordable real estate. It's one of the few cities that's close to the GTA where a detached home may not completely max out your budget. Guelph is a popular spot amongst young families and especially first-time homebuyers who are looking for their own space and a real community to be a part of. And you can find any type of home here, from old brick century homes near the downtown to newer subdivisions in the south end. If you want a breakdown of every single type of home and neighborhood in Guelph, then you can visit the links in the video description below. It'll go directly to my website where you can check that all out. In terms of prices, as of today, the median price for a detached home is $860,000. For a semi-detached, it is $750,000. For a townhome, the median price is $725,000. And for a two-bedroom condo, it's about $540,000. And if you're going to be commuting into the GTA, just a little tip, then you're probably going to want to be on the south end for 401 access. But if you want to live closer to the downtown and you want to take the GO train in, then you have access to a GO train station that will take you directly to Union in about 1.5 hours. This is definitely one of the biggest reasons why people choose Guelph. I have clients ask me all the time, where is the safest community that I can live? And Guelph definitely checks the box there. It's consistently ranked in the top 10. Last year, it was ranked 8th in Canada and 4th overall in Ontario. So a great thing about Guelph is that it has a lot of big city infrastructure without the stress or worry that often comes with that. You'll find tons of community and neighborhood groups wherever you live. If you want to be a part of those, this is a very safe place to live. Along with schools, this often checks the box for a lot of young families. Just a really quick break here. If you're finding value in this video, just go ahead and like it. That will help other people find content like this. Okay, let's get right back to it. And now we're getting to the really good stuff. This is one of my favorite parts of Guelph, is just walking around the downtown core. This is when you start to feel the real charm of the city. It is packed with independent restaurants and cafes and shops, and it's not cookie cutter. This is one of the better downtowns that you're going to find for a small town in Ontario, and it's a big reason why people move to Guelph. And the food scene is a lot better than you'd expect. There are some great local spots for Vietnamese, Thai, Japanese, Italian. You've got casual Italian, formal Italian. You've got pubs and you've got tons of breweries. So there's a lot of different options for whatever you're feeling like. And one of my favorite spots is the Boathouse Tea Room. This is where you can get some of the best ice cream you'll ever have, and it's located in a really amazing area right at the intersection of the Speed and Aramosa rivers as you get into downtown Guelph. This is a great spot to obviously get some amazing ice cream, but hang out on a hot day and check out the view as well. There's also a real sense of culture and diversity in Guelph, and you can feel it through the festivals and markets and events that happen year-round. It's much more vibrant than you'd expect for a city of this size. One of my favorite things is the year-round farmers market. It is every Saturday throughout the year, but from June to October, it's also on Thursday as well. And when it comes to festivals, there are tons. Some standout ones are the Hillside Music Festival, you've got Ribfest, and then in the wintertime, you have the Spirit of the Season. This runs during the first 2 weekends of December, and it kind of combines the Santa Claus parade and the mayor's tree lighting into one big event. You also have an indoor and outdoor Christmas marketplace. So whatever you want in terms of festivals, you can get pretty much throughout the year in Guelph. And if you're looking for even more things to do, you have the Sleeman Center, which is also downtown. This is home to the OHL's Guelph Storm if you're into hockey, but it also has concerts and events year round as well. And if you're looking for more arts and culture, then you have the River Run Center, which is just across the street from the Sleeman Center. This is where you're going to find the heart of Guelph's art scene. So there's always something happening here and just tons of things to do in the downtown core in Guelph. This is another huge reason why people move to Guelph, and definitely one of its best. If you're an outdoorsy person or someone that just likes to check out the parks, check out the walking trails, you're going to love living in Guelph. But it's not just being outdoors. Guelph also has some great community centers and rec centers where you can find organized leagues for either yourself or for your kids. So coming to Guelph, living in Guelph, you have tons of options, either being outdoors, indoors, just being active overall. A great example of this is the Guelph Lake Conservation Area, which has over 4,000 acres of trails, beaches, and winter activities. You've also got biking trails, disc golf, skating on the river, and even 10 golf courses nearby. And then you have the Arboretum, which is right next to the University of Guelph. This is one of my favorite places to go. You've got peaceful gardens and walking trails to explore. This is definitely one you need to check out. And we haven't even talked about Exhibition Park yet, which you can find just outside of downtown. You have walking trails, an amazing natural playground for kids, picnic areas, a waiting pad, and there's even an outdoor community rink in the winter. This is really the heart of Guelph when it comes to green spaces and parks in the downtown core especially. For sports lovers there, you have baseball diamonds, a football field, and tennis and pickleball courts. And you also have Hastings Stadium where you can check out the Guelph Royals play baseball, and Exhibition Arena has a large indoor rink. And one more great park to check out if you're going to be in the north end of Guelph is Riverside Park. This has tons and tons of stuff to do and a great place for a walk. Then you've got the West End and Victoria Road rec centers, which have pools, rinks, gyms, and libraries. These are perfect for active families. So all over Guelph, north, east, south, west, you have tons of things to do and things to explore. And I didn't forget about the South End, because for anyone living in the South End or thinking about moving to the South End of Guelph, there is a huge new 160,000 square foot community center coming soon to the area. This will have skating rinks, an aquatic center with a lap and leisure pool, a double gymnasium, a walking track, and multi-purpose rooms all connected by a central lobby. If you're watching this video now, it is opening in fall of 2026. If you're watching this a little bit later, it might already be open, so go check it out. And this is a bonus pro. It's not necessarily the main reason why people move to Guelph, but it's a reason why people feel pride in Guelph and why they stay in Guelph. It's very much a green city in Guelph, and you have community gardens woven throughout the city. Again, those community groups and neighborhood groups, there's a real pride in the city in keeping it clean, safe, and beautiful. And another bonus is that overall, the economy is pretty strong in Guelph. You have just a 2% unemployment rate, which is really low amongst cities. And you have major employers there like Linamar, and of course you have the University of Guelph as well. And of course, as promised, we're going to look at the good and now the bad when it comes to Guelph. Overall, I would say that this is not necessarily a huge downside, but for a lot of people, it can be. So in terms of retail spaces, malls, places to shop, it is not the best city for that, which is pretty common amongst smaller cities. But as Guelph has grown, its retail options have not really kept up to pace with maybe what its population is now. You have the Stone Road Mall, which is the biggest mall within the city. And then you do have the Quebec Street Mall, which is downtown, but it's not a huge mall. It's pretty small overall as it's woven into the historic downtown. So overall, your shopping options are kind of limited here when you compare it to cities like a Burlington or an Oakville or a Mississauga. You just don't have as much within a smaller radius or closer radius to you, which is natural because you are going to be a little bit outside of the GTA. So if you're someone that always wants access to shopping, it's going to be a little bit of a drive as you get to bigger malls outside of Guelph. Now, this is definitely a con that is going to be bigger for people, especially people who are looking to downsize. Guelph General is the only hospital in Guelph, and the wait times there for the ER can be quite long. There's also a specialist gap when it comes to Guelph. If you have any sort of complex issue or need surgery, oftentimes you're going to be sent out to either London or Hamilton, maybe Kitchener-Waterloo, depending upon the issue. And there is going to be a new hospital in Guelph, but we have no idea when. The timeline is very uncertain. So this could be 10 years from now, 20 years from now, who knows exactly. There's no firm timeline in place, but in the meantime, people are really needing access to healthcare in Guelph, and it's kind of lacking compared to other cities. So if that's something that you need, something that you desperately need and you can't have without, Guelph may not be the best option. This is definitely one of the bigger cons, I would say, when it comes to living in Guelph. Now, this is a con that's going to affect both people locally and people who are commuting outside of Guelph for work. So let's take a look at both of those a little bit more closely. Locally in Guelph, the population has grown rapidly over the past 20 or 25 years. We've seen essentially the entire south end of the city be developed during this time, bringing tens of thousands of new people to the city. And this is causing traffic that people just aren't used to. You have streets like Gordon, for example, that runs all the way north-south through the entire city. You have Highway 6 North, which connects you to the Highway 401. And then you have Wellington as another major road where you're going to see lots of traffic. And just getting across town can be a lot more difficult than it used to be. So for locals, this is kind of a thorn in their side now. As the city has grown, you get all this new infrastructure and all these great things that come with it, but it is definitely harder to get around. And if you're someone that doesn't have a car, looking at public transportation, it's not going to be like a bigger city. It's going to be 30-60 minutes for a bus. It's going to be harder to get around town. So definitely car dependent, and there's a lot more traffic than there used to be. And for those people that are newer to Guelph, or if you're thinking about moving to Guelph, then the commute is something you're going to really want to keep in mind. You are a good 45 minutes away from Mississauga without traffic, an hour and a half from downtown Toronto without traffic. So it's going to really depend upon where you're working. If you're going to Kitchener-Waterloo, not too bad, 25-30 minutes. Hamilton, not too bad, 45-50 minutes. But if you're going to be going east towards the GTA, then things are going to get a little bit dicier. You're going to have traffic definitely on the way back when you're getting in and out of the GTA. This can wear on you after a couple of years. People, they make the move and they think, well, there's more affordable real estate here, great schools, safety, all those great things that come with it. But that drive starts to wear on them. So you really need to be aware of that. And if you want to live closer to downtown, the drive makes it even longer. But if you want to rely upon the GO train, well, it does get you to Union. It is about an hour and a half, but you got to account for the time to get to the train station. You got to account for the time getting from Union to your office. And you know, it's a couple hours each way. This tends to wear on people. So keep that in mind. And this is one of the things that can cost you a lot of money. You decide to make this move, you decide to buy a house here for the first time, or you decide to upsize here. And after a couple of years, that commute, it just wears on you and you're ready to sell. So before you make a move to Guelph, you need to know that this is a big con. It is going to be quite a bit of a commute if you're looking to work outside of the city. Now, I know I just said that affordable real estate is one of the pros of living in Guelph, but you have to keep in mind that these prices have risen very quickly from what it has 10 or 15 years ago. Guelph is no longer a hidden gem. So that gap between Guelph and a Mississauga, for example, is smaller than it was 10 or 15 years ago. So you still can get affordable real estate, but that gap has gotten a lot smaller. And then when it comes to property taxes, Guelph has one of the higher property taxes. So before you purchase a home in Guelph, take a look at property taxes. It's one of those hidden costs that you don't account for. And it can be not necessarily the difference between, a detached home in Guelph at $860,000 versus Oakville for $1.4 million. But hey, it's still something to keep in mind. That tax rate is going to be higher when you live in a city like Guelph. I gave you a bonus pro, so it's time to give you a bonus con, and maybe bonus is not the best word to use, but it is something important to know. So in Guelph, you have both the north and the south end. The north is where the older homes are, the older Guelph, and south is essentially where everything newer has been built south of the university over the past, let's call it 25 to 30 years, and especially some new stuff over the past 5 years. So a lot of people move to Guelph because they're looking for that small town feel and that charm, but when they get there, they don't feel it because they're in the south end, or let's say the east end, which have newer homes. It just feels like suburbia. So you really need to actually make a concerted effort to be a part of the community. You have to actually get out and get downtown or get into those areas. If you're going there expecting it to come to you, it just won't. And that can cost you a lot of money because people don't feel that connection that they were expecting and they want to move. And when you move, it unfortunately does cost you money. So keep that in mind before you make your decision. So that's the real deal on Guelph, the pros, the cons, and everything in between. For a lot of people, the schools, the safety, and the overall vibe are exactly what they're looking for. But if you're after lots of shopping options, an easy commute, or you need access to specialty services, then it may not check every box. If you're seriously thinking about making a move to Guelph and you want to learn more about it, then you're going to want to check out this video next. Or if you're ready to learn more about Guelph real estate, then check out the list of preferred homes linked down in the description below.